All right, let me get this up and get everything set up because it's interesting. Um, Going to pop out this chat because I figured out how to do this. I do need to start invading here, but let me do this right now. So I wish this was just set up in the way that I originally did this, but this is okay. It just takes me a little bit longer, wastes a little bit more of my time, but that's fine. Switch to live chat so people can actually chat with me while I'm doing this. Um, I'm having reservations about doing this particular move and just taking the D2 move instead because this particular Joseki does give a lot of influence over to hey man, like this particular Joseki does give a ton of influence um, over. So that I don't think this is how this Joseki is supposed to go. Because if I actually go here, that's kind of an issue. But then again, like in this particular instance, I don't actually know how to play this that well because I can extend, but then that would kind of give him this. I can go here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go here. I think I should have probably done this first, but I'm not sure. But I can do that at any time. So if I wanted to do that first, I can just do that, right? I haven't really seen people respond that way. Because I'm definitely not going to let him take this particular stone for free. So this is an actual variation that I haven't really seen all that often. This Joseki does get played. Usually what happens is white takes this... Oh, yeah, you can't do... That's a huge loss for black. He might have just lost his entire 2-stone advantage right there. So the thing is, like, you can't let white take this headstone because then you're sacrificing this stone and you're basically making this particular move useless as well. So this is a pretty big loss for black right here. This is in territory. This attack is essentially going to destroy anything that has, so I'm just going to go over here. I don't think the influence over here is going to be all that useful, so I'm going to go ahead and play this Joseki again. There is a Joseki here, but when you extend down and I cut, you go out this way. You go out this way, I take this stone, and then you take the other one. I mean, that particular one that he did is just not very helpful. Here, I believe I can just go here right now. By cutting off these two corners, do I do this again? I guess I can, because like the influence over here is also somewhat limited, I guess. The formation of how these Josekis work together is not something I am too familiar with. So yeah, there's not a lot of potential over here. I'll give you that. But right now I don't really know where to go. I think I probably should do this, but I'm not sure. I probably should have just taken the other Joseki now that I look at it, even though like this in the future could be a good move for me. That I'm not going to answer. I think I'm just going to invade here. That's also a really bad move. Um, that just gives me all this territory. And remember, white, if he wants to invade, white can still go here, and you really can't do anything. Um, yeah, it's not a good way to do things. So I can force here. I am concerned a little bit about what he's going to do here, but I don't want to make another group. I don't think there is much potential here. He can do this, though. He can actually do this. So I think I'm going to come up this way. This is interesting because I can just connect here. I don't think he can do anything. There is actually a trade in this, by the ways. So I'm thinking I'm going to execute this trade. There is a trade in here. That's not the way you do it, though. The correct move is to play c18. White would play b17, then you extend b18. And what happens is you kind of trade the corner for these two stones. So there is actually a trade in there. This is essentially him losing because he basically just gave me the corner. So the thing is, there is a trade in there. I'll show you guys later because I actually kind of I did actually kind of study that with kata earlier, so I know how that works. I do know how that works because I did study it with kata go. You know what? I can just go down. If I do this, that's really dangerous for me. It's better if I just do this. I think I'm going to come up this way first. There is quite a bit of potential here, but I do have to hane this just to bring up my own shape. I think I can... I want to reduce this here, so I think I'm going to take a risk and play this right now. I haven't counted. Maybe I actually have enough territory already where this doesn't matter, and in that case I shouldn't have done this. But if he actually goes there, then I do have enough territory already. I'm just going to go this way. Because this looks like a lot of territory, but based on what he's actually given up, it's not actually that much. Actually, that wasn't a good move. That's my bad. It's not a good move at all. To go on the outside. If I go over here, that's actually a bit of a problem here. I'll have a bunch of weak groups. I don't want that to happen, so I think I have to connect this one. That particular, I'm probably just going to go here because him actually getting this move isn't really all that important. But if I pull back, that gives me other problems. Here, if he connects, I actually have to do that, otherwise this dies. So this Atari doesn't bother me. It's what happens here that really bothers me. This actually might be the best move here. I think he needed to separate these four. Letting me connect is too much. There is territory down here, obviously, but I don't think it's enough for him to win. I've already got this. I've got the corner here, and I've got this territory here. So there's not a lot of potential left for him, is the problem. Like, I think despite getting this territory, he still needs more territory to win. And there isn't really, the potential just really isn't there for him to gain more. I can also cut here, but I don't think that would be a good move right now. But I'm not going to play down here. I think actually here is probably the best move right now. I might want to cut here afterwards, though. I don't know why you would do that. You would definitely just connect, because that gives me a free connection. And then I'm going to go this way. I don't think this is very big, but I was kind of going for that. So I think I'm going to cut here. This is fine. I'm going to want to solidify my territory down low. And I don't mind if he actually runs away. It's not a big deal. This actually might not be a good idea. I'm going to have to do that first anyways. Wait, no. You got to connect this. This, like, I have a lot of cutting points here. So letting me take this solves all the cutting points. And you don't really threaten me because I have this particular move. So, like, my territory down here is completely solidified at this point. And he still doesn't really have any real territory. Plus, I can play this move later on. So he has a lot of problems right now. I think I'm going to Hane here just because it's kind of large. Okay, what else is big? I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, that's fine. If I cut here, then that's Ko, and I don't really want to fight this Ko. See if I can parlay this into, like, some kind of, like, territory or other, because that would be interesting for me. Now, I don't think this actually makes this Sente. No, because if he goes under, I can still cut. If he does that, I can still come over the top. He takes, I would have to play Ko. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? That really didn't work. Because that's actually Ko. This is a little tricky. But would he actually fight this Ko is the question. I mean, he kind of has to at this point, but I think I'm just going to kill the potential for Ko at this point. Because I don't really want to fight that. That was not necessary. But that is a big move, though, even though it's not necessary. There is some potential up here that I want to extrapolate. So we're going to go here to try to get some of this territory. That's fine. That's not really threatened, so I don't need to answer that way. I'm just going to do this. I'm actually going to connect this because this does that anyways, and it does give me the ability to go here later on. I don't think this really affects. I should have probably gone over here, yeah. That, I don't know if it's the right way to actually attack, though. I'm going to extend down first. Actually, that blocks a liberty, so that probably wasn't that smart. So I don't think I can do this because he can backtrack that way. Same thing with this.
Yoyomi.
I don't think I have a choice except for that. That have actually, I think that probably is a mistake by, no, I can't do that either, snap. Dang it, snap. I'm just gonna do this. You can take that, it's a couple of points, but it's not a big deal. I don't think I actually gained much from that though. Do not think I gained too much from that, unfortunately. Just a couple of points here, but I did give up a lot here, so I don't think that was actually positive for me. I don't think you need to do that right now. This is fairly large. I don't think that does anything, so I'm not going to answer that particular one. I'm going to Atari the stone so it can't extend in here. Then block this down here. Yes. I don't think... No, because he can go up that way, so I can't really do much. No, I don't think there's anything here, so let's do this. I guess this is pretty big. Otherwise, this could possibly be pretty big. Right. But also here.
10, 9, 8.
Yes. Still a couple of points in there. Not very much, though. That was actually fairly large. I think he could have pushed here and then done this and fought the Ko there. That's why I'm doing that. Don't need to contest that. Just gonna finish off the couple of points here. Take the stone, I guess. Just gonna do that. I don't think this actually gets him anything. Sorry. Push. What else is big? I don't really know. Guess I can just take these. To make sure I don't have any mistakes here. I think that's the most important thing right now. I don't think this game is super close. So it's best if I just don't have any mistakes. That didn't need to be done. There's no points there. I think that's it. I would fill in that there, though. I don't think there's anything I can do there, but
Pass.
he might actually need to fill in one if I do this.
Pass.
Okay, I'm going to try this. I don't think there's anything here. But all the liberties are actually filled in. So we're going to give this a there might be something here because he can't fill in that way. Yeah, actually, there might be something here. I don't know. I think that's the wrong way to play. I think he should have just taken the stone. But realistically yeah, that's true. There's nothing. Is there? I think he might have gotten himself into trouble. I think he's ahead by 1, though, is the thing. Or it's a ko. I think this is actually a ko now. But it's his advantage in ko. There's only one move to do right now. Yes. Go this way. Keep going this way. He has to block. And then I'm going to do this. And we have ko. But the problem with this ko is I have a lot of ko's. I don't really need to gain a lot from this ko. He has a lot more to lose than me because this was originally all his points anyways. So I'm actually not losing anything from fighting this ko. B played G when there have been no. The thing is, like I said, I think if he just took, I think if he didn't just force my stones down and he just took the stone freely, there would not have been a ko.
Pass. Remove the dead stones.
But realistically, I think even without that, I was ahead by maybe 15
You
points
have
or
won.
so. Even without that, I think even without this, there was really even without this, right? like even without this, I think yeah, I was already ahead, so this was just extra. But like, I don't think there's actually anything here. So he does this. That's the correct move. When I do this, I think if he just does this, he's okay. I'm pretty sure if he just does that, he's fine because there's really not much I can do. I mean, I can try to go this way, but my liberties are a little too tight, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, there probably is a ko here. Yeah, there's still a ko here. Yeah, there is actually a ko here. He can't like once he did this, this was ko for sure. If he had played G1, I could have just extend. Well, he can't really play G1 because I can just do that. So yeah, there was definitely. I think there was definitely. There might have been something here. Because he has to. He does actually have to fix this way. After L2. Oh yeah, he could play G1. That's right. There was no ko there. You're right. You're right. That's true. He could just fill in there. That's right. I forgot about. Yeah, he could just. I don't have an I. That's why there's no ko here. So there might have not been any. There might actually not be anything here. I guess. It's true. He can just play. He can just play G. He can just play G1. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because he has an I can't fill in. So that's actually true. But let's go back in this game because I was already ahead. Because I was already ahead 30 points by this point. So let's go back and review this game because that's not the main mistake. So this is actually this is a Joseki, by the way. It's like there is a Joseki here, but the problem is that move. Black just does this. White does this, black does this, and then white does this. That's the actual Joseki. White can choose to connect, and then essentially come. Well, he can't come out because black can just do that. But I mean, if I were white, I would probably not connect. But you can choose to connect and come out. It just doesn't look good for white. So if I was white, I would not connect. I would go somewhere else. That's the actual Joseki. If you do that and white extends out, you've already lost a little bit because there's no way white's going to do this and let you basically like take that up. There's no way white's going to do that. So he's going to extend and then he's going to do this. That is not the right move. You have to extend this. White would actually have to take that. White would probably do this first and then take the stone. Or white might do that. One of those two. I don't know if he would actually do that, but like white would do this actually. White would do this, and then that's the Joseki. Or that's not the Joseki. Like black loses out a little bit here, but that's kind of like how it goes if you want to play it that way. But generally, generally when this happens, you just go here. Because white has to save these three in the corner. No matter what white does, he has to take time doing that. And then, like he has this weak group here, you get this out here. So that's kind of like how that Joseki goes. So basically, like I said in the game, when he let me take this stone, he almost lost like his entire advantage just by letting me take that stone. Way too much thickness here, and he doesn't get nearly as much here. Plus white gets the corner. So that is a roughly 15, 16 point loss just by that. This is okay. This is a slight advantage for white. This particular trade. I only did this move because I didn't want him to invade here and put these two groups under pressure, so that's why I did that. that's not a especially important move. I think like fixing this would actually be like way more important right now because this is just a really vulnerable spot. This you have to connect. There's no way out of that. White will be able to get the stone, but you can just build off the influence on the outside. If you let me push through, like there's first of all, like there's not many points in here. Like B12 is always an invasion, and even if I do B14, like there's just not that much territory in here at all for you to protect. So like, the Joseki in the corner here is I'm trading points down bottom for more or less influence. This you almost have to connect because if you connect, I have to connect. Whereas if you do something like this, like, yeah, I have to answer, but now basically, I guess like, I don't have to take it right away. I don't actually have to take it right away, but if I take it, I still have the Atari here. So this particular one, like, yeah, I think like taking it would be the best move because taking it actually makes this group much weaker. So taking it would be the best move for me. So I jumped up here. This is okay. This is actually not bad. But the correct move is here. That's actually the trade. That is like right now. I don't think it's that favorable for black, but that is actually the correct trade for. That's how you actually do the correct trade for black right now. You trade the corner for white taking these two stones. I wouldn't do it right now because it makes this stone weaker and it kind of this formation's not really weak, but I wouldn't do it right now. But that's actually the correct trade because if you do this and you connect, then I'm pretty sure you just lose. Because you can't throw in here, so yeah, you just lose by 1 liberty, so that's no good, obviously. So let me play that again. A correct move is here. White bonds, you do this. White connects, you play this, you give up the 2 stones, and actually, no, this way. This is not a bad trade for black right now because I still don't have 2 eyes. I wouldn't be too afraid of the 2 eyes though because I can easily just do this. I can very, very easily just do this right now and get the 2 eyes. But this group isn't completely alive yet. But you do get the entire corner, so that's how you actually trade. This is a pretty complex trade. A lot of people don't know it, even at the Dan level. People don't even know it, but I've actually studied this with the AI several times, so I know how that works. But this is the wrong way to play it. Atari in here basically just kind of screws this whole thing over. Yeah, like this actually is going to remain the biggest move for a long time because if you connect here, I connect here, you still have like a lot of uses for this. Like you can come up top here. I would have to connect, and then you can actually seal in this entire side. That's why this is so big. Moves like this, I really, really don't like because you're trying to seal in like literally 9 points. And if I Hane here, you're trying to seal in like really 5 points. So there's not that much, like you're trying to use a lot of points to enclose a territory that's not all that big in the first place. So not really worth it. I'm going to invade here just to break this up. Then I'm obviously just going to go back here. Like I was thinking about doing this, but I'm not really sure if this is a winning. I don't really know if this is a winning strategy. I don't think it actually is. So that's why I didn't do that. So I just did this. Like I'm just not certain I can actually win this fight. So like there's no reason trying to risk sacrificing those stones. So I just went ahead and got the points on the bottom. That's fairly big. I'm going to come up top here. That's fine. And then try to reduce. Now, here, I would just go ahead and do this first. As white, I would not actually respond to that. But I wouldn't try to actually defend this territory down here Because if you look at the state of the game, if you try to defend the territory down here and you let me reduce, you're already going to be fairly behind. You just don't have enough territory giving up this corner, this side, and I already have this side, so I don't think that's a great move. Like you're spending a lot of points, you're spending a lot of moves to defend this area. You only really do that if you're already winning and you just need to secure some territory to win. But that's not the case right now. I don't know what I should have done here actually. Maybe this, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So like taking that's pretty big. If I were actually black, I would definitely do this right now and try to kill these or try to put pressure on these 3 stones. Because territory-wise, black's already behind at this point. So you kind of have to make something happen with your influence. Right now, I know like for lower ranked players, this might be hard to gauge that black's behind right now. But if you actually count the number of points in here plus this and this, it's going to be less than this plus this and that. So if you're behind, you have to try to make things happen. Yeah, I don't know if this, yeah, this doesn't work, I guess. So I guess white can, I suppose white can go back anyways. If black just does this, white can go over top, I suppose. But still, like, and this doesn't really work because that's Atari and this is going here. So I guess at this point, there's very little way you can actually cut white, I suppose. But even if you can't, I wouldn't do this. Like if you want to make use of this, I would definitely do this because obviously this leaves the possibility of Atariing here. So I'm just going to connect this. Connect. I don't know if there's a need to protect this cut. This group's not under threat. This group is kind of light, and I feel like you can just connect to this group somehow. Take some advantages. Push back. Go here, and this is another one where you just connect. There's nothing I can do if you connect, and it leaves me with a weak cutting point here. So this is losing quite a few points here. I don't think this actually needs to be responded to. You already have the stone, and this group's not really going to be under threat. You have a head here. You can always come here and basically connect back. And even if I try to cut you, you're going to be able to make 2 eyes in here. So I don't think this is actually necessary to respond to. So I'm going to do this to see what I can get. I don't really know how this goes in here. I think as black, I would have just done this immediately. It's very hard for me to surround black right now, and white's not particularly strong in this area. So as you can see here, not only did black flatten white's territory here by quite a bit, black also is now threatening this move later on. So if I do this, you actually have the potential here to make a couple of points instead of me. And the thing is, realistically, like if you do this, I'm not going to be able to do like I can try to do that, but that's kind of, I don't know. That just feels kind of weird. Now I guess like that would actually be pretty bad for black. So white does have this move, I guess. No, not that. Yeah, I guess like this move makes it kind of not great to do this, I suppose. But there's the other problem that this isn't particularly alive. I don't actually think black would win this fight. Actually, black does win this fight, doesn't he? Yeah. So like there's a lot of other stuff down here, but I don't know, like for me I probably would have done this. Just A, I do recognize I'm behind, and B, like I do recognize that this particular group is not alive if it gets cut off. So white runs a big risk here fighting this as well. And you like if you do this, you can already not surround this group. So yeah, there's a lot of like I said, you need to use the advantages and basically just take the territory and just flatten out white's territory as much as you can. Because by doing this, you're basically giving me all the advantages, and my advantage is just going to continue to grow. Here, this is also another important pivot point. You cannot let me have this stone. Obviously, like there's a lot of problems with this. There's a lot of problems with white doing anything here. Because like securing on top doesn't really work. Black can just go here. If white takes it, black can just go here, and this is a snapback. So I can't actually kill you here. So like letting me take this keystone is just not something you can actually do, because this makes me really thick up here. This fixes all my problems up here. And then now you get stuck with like a gote connect back. I'm trying to figure out some forcing moves to make this territory up here, but it's very difficult. That I don't think actually requires answering right now, although that's not bad because this move's fairly big. So what I'm afraid of, because this is now connected, if I go elsewhere, let's just say I go elsewhere, let's just put a random stone. I'm a little bit afraid of this at this point. Because if you take this and I squeeze, if I do this, I don't think I actually, like, I don't think I actually win that one. I don't think I actually win this. So the thing is, like, I would have to squeeze, and then I don't want to play the ko at this point. Because if I lose this ko, if I lose this ko, I lose too much. And since I'm already in a winning position, I don't really want to risk that. So that's why I went ahead and just secured it. That's why I went ahead and just secured this. Jump up here, try to make this territory. See, like, I didn't answer it just by I did not answer it just by connecting, because I realized that this group isn't under threat. So he does that. The thing is, like, I don't think I actually needed to do this. I think if I just did this, it would have been okay. Just giving up that one stone. Like, there's a lot of territory in here. I probably should have done that. I was thinking about this, but yeah, that just isn't good for me. Or neither is this. Actually, no, that would have been fine. Yeah, there's no way you can escape here. So I guess I should have done that. That might have been a little bit harder. Yeah, I can't cut. So it wouldn't have actually worked. There was ways that he could kill me, so that wouldn't have worked. Go here first, and then try to do this. That's the correct move. I'm still going to try to get this down here, though. I think I should have just done this right away. There's some points in there. This move isn't worth much. Like, there's 3 points in here, and there's nothing you can do to threaten me. So I just went ahead and took all the advantages here. Right now, this doesn't require answering. Later on, it will, but right now it doesn't. I think this is probably bigger, but... And of course, I'm just taking all the sentes here. At some point, like you should definitely do this. It's gote. Actually, is it gote? Because you can choke here, right? It actually might be sente. Like, if you do this and I don't answer, you can choke this, but this creates another cutting point. And yes, I can connect out, but now you're just destroying all my territory. So that actually is a Sente move if you do that. So you had to do that sometime. So at this point, like you kind of you should be looking at that. I don't know if it might not actually work right now though, because yeah, it probably doesn't work right now. But the thing is, like, I have to do this, which gives you the option to take these two. And remember, even if I take this, it's still code to take those two. So you gotta think of like creative solutions like that at this point. This is never gonna work at this point. I'm too thick over there. Yeah, so this game was basically lost on a couple of critical points that he didn't connect. This here early in the game, there was one over here and one over here as well. So that actually like basically threw the game. So I'm gonna play another game. I'm gonna play another game, another teaching game if anyone's interested. And yeah, 4 to 14K, that is the range. 14K is a lower range because I'm not good at teaching beginners. It's just hard for me to explain basic concepts. Like basic rules and concepts of the game below 14K. And yeah, so that's my range to teach. I am trying to get more people up to the Dan level because I actually want more players to play against. Because there are not that many players at the Dan level on OGS. And sometimes at night you have to wait forever to actually get a game. And then I'm like really tilted because I just waited 20 minutes to get a game. Yeah, it's actually super tilting on OGS at night when you just can't find like an even game. Or like there's a bunch of challenges, but they're all blitz. And I suck at playing blitz. So yeah, the challenge is right here on OGS if you would like to play. The challenge is here on OGS if anyone wants to play. 4 to 14K, I think like most of the OGS population actually resides within those ranks. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes to see if anyone takes the challenge. Because, yeah, I try to do 2 teaching games per day when I have time. I might have to do 1 like in the summer because I like to go out a little bit earlier. But, 2 teaching games a day is a pretty good, pace.
Game started.
13Q. So let's do a handicap 8 game. I'm going to pass a couple times for handicap 8. I haven't ever played this high handicap before, but
Pass.
because of the rank difference,
Pass.
it's necessary. Technically, it should be 9,
Pass.
but I think 8's
Pass.
almost the same as 9. So you can take this handicap any way you want. It doesn't actually matter to me where you take the handicap. Like for me, I would not actually take the
Pass.
traditional handicap.
Pass.
He's basically taking
Pass.
most of the traditional handicap. So this is the last handicap stone. So what I would have done with the 8 handicap is I would have just taken the 4 corners and 4 knights moves. So obviously I'm going to approach the open side. I don't know how many of these Josekis I can actually play. Because I feel like if I just play regular Josekis, I'm just going to lose. There's too many stones on the board for me to do this with. And I'm not very good, even though I played a bunch of these games, I'm not really good at, like, with high handicap games at gauging, like, the strength difference. Okay. That's fine. I should do something with this. I don't want to Atari here because that doesn't actually get me anything. Remember, I don't have the ladder here, so killing this doesn't actually work. So we're just going to leave that alone and approach this over here. I think I should actually play here and then connect this. I think that's how I should actually play. There's so many stones starting on the board. Yeah, you can't let me get this Hane on the corner. It's too big. You just gave me all the territory. There's not much territory here. So here, cutting actually presents me with a lot of problems. But, you know, the thing is, I'm not afraid of fighting him. I'm really not afraid of... I kind of have to, more or less. The stones are all squished up. There's not much territorial influence here. There's just not much here. I think I'm going to actually try to kill this group now. Well, I'm not going to try to kill it, but I'm going to try to gain some advantages by putting pressure on these 3 stones. Generally, you should go over here. But I might go over here. No, screw it, I'll just go over here. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the original here. It's probably not a great and awesome... Oh, that's the wrong move. I'm actually going to connect this one. Now, this group isn't actually alive yet, but it's not really all that relevant. It's really not the right way to run this. Because I think eventually what he's going to do is he's going to end up giving me these stones. Just connecting here is the best move. It's okay if he lives in there. It's not that big of a deal. If he actually lives there, which I think he just did. Still going to do that, though. And then Atari here. This is something you also have to connect. I'm going to take this just because of shape value. Then I am going to invade in the corner. You really, like, black's still way ahead because white, like, actually doesn't have any territory right now. And black has this gigantic moyo here, so black's still far, far ahead right now. So I do have to find ways to disrupt his territory if I'm ever going to win, because the only solid territory white has is this corner. That's a weird move. I think I have to do this. I don't actually like this that much. I really don't. This is actually not bad for him, by the ways. So you always extend this one down. You pretty much always extend that one down. Because you get more usage of that. Like here, you're kind of giving up the corner here. That's not worth anything. Just going to extend here. The question is, do I take this? And the answer is probably not. I can fight Ko's there, and I might want to actually do that. Because I might be able to live over there. If I'm really greedy, so I will. Because I am greedy. Because I kind of have to be greedy. I'm basically letting him go down in the corner over here. I'm basically letting him go down in the corner over here is what I'm doing. And it's kind of a dangerous move for sure, but I don't, oh, that's the wrong move. You cut here and then you cut over here. If I take this, there's none of that actually matters. If I take this, then none of the other Aji matters. I think I should connect this actually. But yeah, it gave me a lot of the territory over the corner. I might have been better off doing this though. There is obviously like a ton of potential here, so black's still pretty far ahead, but giving me the corner definitely not good. That you shouldn't do because there's no point in doing that. Actually, that's not that big. So we gotta break up the territory over here somehow. And the only way to do that is just to kind of go here. If I play e5, these two groups are actually connected. So this e5 becomes a key move because this one's not quite alive yet. I'm going to jump. I kind of have to jump out. I can't let him enclose me like that. That's not bad. I'm going to do this first just to make sure that these two groups are actually connected. Because e6 doesn't work because I can do d6. And then he has problems here. Okay, that doesn't do anything to me. So we're actually just going to go ahead and see. Can't do that because he can just break, I guess. I think this is the best move. Yeah. There's not too much territory to kill in here anymore. So let's take a jump in here. I don't know how successful he can be at killing this. I mean, he still has a lot of stones, so technically it is still in danger. But a lot of times it just depends on your playing strength. I think he's going with the age-old mistake of basically like trying too hard in order to basically like surround a small territory. Is if he just tries to surround this in like small territories here, he is going to end up losing. He gave up a lot on the corner in order to like have that. Opportunity. Jump out this way first. See, by him actually doing this to me, it gives me the opportunity to jump out this way as well. So this is actually a bad move. I mean, there's other reasons why that's a bad move. And that's a bad move because it lets me double up, and it makes it harder for him to protect this territory. But, okay. He just let me connect here, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. If he takes this, I just connect. Like, if you're attacking this group right now, you can't let me connect. And I know you're threatening this one stone, but that's only worth that one stone. If he gives me this lower side in exchange for some territory up here, I will gladly take it. I don't know if he can do that. I'm going to do this because it looks like this is actually Sente disconnect, whereas everything else would be Gote disconnect. And the difference between Sente and Gote in this case is really large. I don't think this works. If he blocks here, I can go Tiger's Mouth this way first. I don't know if he can live in there, but I'm going to take these two. He actually might be able to live in there. Not too afraid of it, though. I don't think he can, but we'll see. But then again, I might not actually be able to live in here either. Well, I think now I'm pretty sure I can live in here. Maybe not. We'll see. But even if I can't live in here, G2 is very troublesome for him later on. Because this form is tiger mouth here if I want to cut. Okay. That's fine. Actually, no, that's not fine. Why did I do that? Okay, yeah, that's not fine. I actually messed up there. But I really didn't in another way. I'm going to connect that first. Did I screw up? I might have screwed up. I think I screwed up pretty hard. Because that's dead if I do that. I think I can just do this. Actually, I don't know if that works. Ah, crap. I have no idea if that actually works. I think it does, though. Because he has to do that. Okay, let me... No, he had to do the other thing. I'm pretty sure this works. Because I have 6 and he only has 4, I believe. I have 5, he still only has 4. And doesn't have that many liberties in here either, is the thing. For those of you that are joining, this is handicap 8. Yeah, you have to fix this. You had to fix this in here as well. The thing is, you're not actually alive here if I do this. There probably is something down here that I really should be careful about. I'm going to take that first. If worst comes to worst, I lose like these 5 stones, I guess. That doesn't work because white can just come out this way. Just going to go ahead and connect this, just in case. You want to block this way or this? I mean, I guess that's okay. Because this works this way, you can't do that. I'm definitely going to connect this now. Make sure I get that. Oh wait, no, he can cut. Never mind. I missed that. Yes, he can cut, which he did. My screw up. I don't necessarily need to fight this Ko. I'm fine if I don't, actually. But I'm going to tell you guys there is an actual Ko here. And it's quite threatening for black if I fight it. There's another... Okay, that's something you really shouldn't do. You know why? Because A, it's not enough points, but like B, you don't want to... You really, really don't want to tighten your liberties at this point. It's a very, very bad idea to tighten your liberties at this point. These aren't very big Kos I'm actually playing because I don't really need to get much from this particular Ko. This Ko is very, very big for him, though, because if I take this, he has to respond. Or, like, this group dies. So, here's the thing. I can actually think about sacrificing these because I get all of this. I'm not going to right now, but in a real game, I would actually just take this stone. Because this is just bigger than this, but I'm going to just connect it for now. This is another thing that you would actually consider. Because this is already dead, is this corner group as big as this? This is actually bigger than the corner group, but why bother? Now, if he tries to make this live next time, if he actually goes down to make that live next time, I'm just going to let this group live. I need some big Kos here. I don't really have any. I guess I can squeeze this. I don't think this is alive. It might be. I don't know, actually. Whatever. The Ko is not that damaging for me. He does that. Yeah, I think it's actually alive. Yeah, that's alive. That's actually not a Ko. Dang it. That is not a Ko. I can kill these, though, which is good enough. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, my bad, my bad. That's not actually a Ko. That is not actually a Ko. Well, what do you know? I really did mess that up, didn't I? Let's see if he knows how to play it. That is not actually a Ko. I should have just done this. There's no threat from that, and he can't actually do that because now this is actually dead once I come up this way. Like, because these two stones like are already taken, and he played this Ko threat, that's no longer a threat because yeah. Now if he does this, I connect. There's no eye structure in here.
Byo-yomi.
I don't want him playing that. That's why I'm just kind of retreating. There's no reason to connect this when you can just connect this. I'm just going to take some of this in. I'm just going to take some other point moves here. You also didn't need to block that. That's worth 1 point. But there's not that many points here, so there's not too many points now, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm not playing this because I have this here, but I should actually play this and then fight the Ko here. Okay, I'm going to connect that. There's one more point thingy here, I think. And then here I have to squeeze, and he has to take the stone. And then there's no more plays in this game. That might have been good, but it's not going to be good now. There's no cuts or breaks in my stones. It would be great if it would be good for him if both those if both these liberties were filled, but they're not filled, so it doesn't work here.
Pass.
So there are points here. He does have to connect this. I do this, and then he does that. And that's the end of the game. There's really not much to think about here. The game's over. You just have to make sure there's no mistakes here. And that's correct, but you should have fought this Ko first. It's worth 1 point. I mean, it doesn't matter in this particular game, but in other games it does actually matter. That was unnecessary. But I guess if you want to be certain, that's fine.
Pass.
Now I will
Remove
pass.
the dead stones.
I like OGS's counting
You have
methods so
won.
much more than Fox. And it messes up less than Fox. So let's go back and review this game, because obviously a lot of mistakes. Handicap 8 is roughly a 92 point advantage. Yeah, you should just go ahead and finish this Joseki. No reason not to. Maintain your lead. Remember, Josekis are even. Josekis are generally even. So if you basically like finish the Joseki, that's basically one obstacle you got over without actually giving up points in a handicap game. Here you absolutely have to Hane this corner. It's too big to give up the corner. This might look big, but it's really not that big. You could think about cutting here. That would actually put white in quite a bind. This doesn't really work. You can just cap. If you do this and I do this, you can come down here and kill this stone, which actually, I mean, you could put pressure on that group for him to do that. And you're like, you actually killed these 3 stones, or almost killed those 3 stones. Like you could, like you don't even have to do that. You can just, or don't do this, like just kill these 3 stones and get the corner. You could do that. So realistically, if you cut here, the only real option I have is to connect this. And then you can come out here and this stone would be cut off. That's unnecessary right now. Yes, there is a nice move, but it's not big enough to play right now. Any of the corners is bigger. So I probably should have just invaded one of the corners, but I wanted to see how he would react if I put pressure on this group. That's, I mean, here you can still play the Joseki, right? Like, and then just, attack the stone yourself. You're like, you have all these surrounding stones here. You're still much stronger than white. So you should think about finishing the Joseki and then going on the counterattack. Good. This is actually a little too passive. If you go here, let me do this. It is hurting your side over here, and this is still not a great shape. So cut, that's also the wrong way to do that. You want to go on top. At least you build some influence over here. And this actually, realistically, like once I do this, like I do have to connect here. Otherwise you can come down this way. So that's actually what it ends up looking like. You still get the block over here and you get the influence up here. So much better result. If you're going to start this move, you definitely need to finish it. Now the thing is, like, you haven't sealed me completely on top, but you still have this really weak group. Once again, you can still finish this Joseki here. And then attack that group. I don't know if it actually would work that well right now, but that's probably what I would do. So trying to force this way is always going to, like, trying to force one way is going to be a bad option because you can't really, you can't seal white in. Like, and you're basically giving white the option to attack, basically go on the counter offensive. I shouldn't have taken this. This is fine. I probably should have just gone somewhere else, but because taking this, like letting you connect that, I don't have the peep anymore, so it is a loss for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get the corner. Here I would either do this or do this. Yeah, there is a clamp here, but you sacrifice a couple of points in the bottom. You still have this in here. So I don't think this is big enough to warrant fixing it right now. So there's 2 options here. You just play the regular Joseki, or you just come down here, let white do this. Remember, white, no matter which way white connects, white doesn't actually have 2 eyes. So you can actually use attacking this to just finish your territory over here. You don't have to kill this group. I mean, this group is pretty weak. If black actually does this and forces white to do this, the white stones are pretty weak because there's like all this black surrounding you. In an even game, you generally don't do this, but like in this game, it's actually pretty good to do this because you, first of all, you solidify your corner, and now you have a white group to actually attack. So with something like this, you always extend down because white has to follow you down, and then you can get all these uses out of it. There's a lot of uses out of this, and then here you can just do this. You have this side now, and you have like this territory now. Letting me just take it for free, you don't have all the uses. Of course, like giving me the corner is not that great of an idea either. The corner's fairly large. This is I'm just not going to respond to. So that could actually be a problem for me. I mean, not that, but. So this is definitely, like, when you bond here, this is definitely a problem. Connect Atari. I would have to do this. You can come down. You might be able to kill this, I think. I think you probably can kill this because there's really not a way for white to actually live here. I'm pretty sure you could actually kill it. I would have to fight this Ko to actually live, and that's not really a Ko I want to fight. So I left that for you down there to see if I left that for you down there. Because there are a lot of cuts, there is like this cutting move here. You can actually cut these 5 off. Of course, that kind of gets rid of everything. Still a bit of a problem if you do that. I mean, I can just connect this way now, but still a little bit of a problem later. I shouldn't have connected that. This isn't worth all that much, but there were too many cutting points down here, and I just didn't feel comfortable. So, of course, I'm going to invade up here because I don't want you to seal off this entire territory. Here, I don't really know. I might be tempted to do something like this. You know why? Because all 3 of my groups, all these groups are weak right now. As long as your group is alive, you can attack all of them at the same time. Trying to separate me, letting me jump out. I would, unless you're really formulating a big territory, I would stay away from the peeps. The peeps make me a little bit solid and a little bit stronger. This doesn't do anything because if you Hane here, you basically let me kill this corner. So there's no threat to this separating in 2 groups anymore. See, the weird thing is like you're going this way, and you were trying to get some territory in here, but by going this way, you actually let me jump into this territory and destroy it. But I'm gonna go down there first. This is just trying way too hard to get that territory. I mean, even something like this, if you want that territory, something like this is fine. But also, you have to look at like which side is bigger now. I think this side's actually bigger. So I'm going to try to destroy the rest of this territory. Like, there's also like, this is also big on this side because your stones aren't that strong here. That's like, this is a bad move because having me connect, you still have this wedge here, and now this jump is completely safe for me. Going in this way, once again, not a very good move. It lets me double here, and it makes it really hard for you to block me in here. Yeah, that you kind of have to do this. And I think this is actually really good for black. Because black's already alive here. You can also take this to connect your 2, and now you just have my weak group to actually attack now. So that's not good because it lets me connect. This stone isn't worth anything, And now I don't have any weak groups left just by doing that. And that's why the score like changed so much. Plus 40.1 to basically plus 6.6 after this move. That's a huge swap. Like being able to cut this group off and attack it and not being able to do that. This is actually a really tricky move to actually play against. That's not the right way. Like you could just honestly do this. What you do is you're trading these two stones and you get all the bottom territory. That's actually not a bad trade. Coming over top and letting me get the bottom territory is definitely not a good deal. And if you start it, you kind of have to finish it, because if I separate this group, you're probably dead. Once I do this move, there's really not much you can do. And black's just dead this way. Realistically, I don't know. I might have been better doing this just to make sure I kill this. This isn't really that risky, though. I mean, I was wondering, like, what happens if you do this? Like, I don't actually have two eyes, and you do have this over here, but I guess it wouldn't work because you don't have enough liberties. Yeah, black doesn't have enough liberties. White's a one-shot kill, so that actually wouldn't work either. But I didn't read all that out, so I didn't actually know. Of course, this is an easy kill. And you got to watch that in there, because that's still dead. It's very, very big down here. The rest of this is just finishing up. But realistically, like, yeah, the rest of this is finishing up. And of course, there was the mistake in letting me kill this down here. But I want to get to that last ko. This is a mistake, obviously. I forgot about this Atari. So this isn't actually, when we get to the last ko, that last one isn't actually a ko that I played. So this isn't a ko. This is correct to take this. This, I believe, is alive. Because I have to, actually, no, if I do this, it's still dead. Never mind. So it is a ko. It is a ko. So what about if black just does that? White has to play here. Yeah, it's not a ko because this is alive. This is actually alive. And the thing is, it's not a ko because, like, once white plays this, black has to connect, and this is just alive. So that's actually not a ko. That was my mistake. All right, that is that's the explanation for this game. Just a lot of overall mistakes. Not like, you know, finish that. Like when you're playing a high handicap game and the white player gives you a joseki, just take the joseki, because like an even trade favors black by a lot in a handicap 8 game. Because remember, like when I'm giving you a handicap 8, I'm spotting you 90 points on the board. A joseki doesn't give me any points back because it's an even trade. Oh, no problem. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. Like this is what these games are for. It's to get people better so they can reach Dan status eventually, and I have more players to play against. Because like OGS has a severe lack of Dan players. I end up playing the same people over and over again. So the thing is, the thing about this is that, yeah, there's a lot of simple mistakes that it just takes experience to actually to read and to overcome. But yeah, like I don't know, I don't exactly know how else to explain it. There's a lot of experience to overcome, and in a handicap game, if your opponent gives you a joseki, just take the joseki, because he's spotting you points. He's actually spotting you points ahead of time, and if he doesn't get those points back, he's going to lose. Giving you a joseki is an even trade, so you just take that even trade. Because an even trade is not going to help him win. if you like try something and if you try like if you don't play the Joseki or you play it wrong, then he's going to gain points. And that's how you generally like in handicap games, you just try to go for even trades, especially in high handicap games. If you can get even trades, you're going to win regardless. So that's how this game works out. Like and subscribe, hit the bell notifications button, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. Oh, you don't know that Joseki? I made a video about the Joseki. That's a very common Joseki that a lot of higher rank, a lot of like 5Q and up people play. So you should learn it. Not so much because you'll play it. It's because like as you rise up the ranks, your opponent will actually play it. So you need to know these Josekis, not because you want to play them, but you have to know how to respond to them if the other player actually plays them. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.